Well, it's been almost 2 full days since the first presidential debate, and we are still hearing new theories about why the president did not perform as well as some had hoped. Some, Al Gore, our former vice president in particular, blamed the altitude out in Denver. Others said the president did not have enough time to prepare. Still others suggest the president did not want to appear angry. Whatever the case, even the president's biggest supporters have been harsh in their assessments. One notable example, Time magazine political columnist Joe Klein. He is not often criticizing the president, but he wrote, quote, "Mitt Romney won this debate. Barack Obama lost it. I mean, he got his butt kicked. It was, in fact, one of the most inept performances I've ever seen by a sitting president." Joining me now, Fox News contributor Jonah Goldberg. He's editor-at-large for the National Review and author of The Tyranny of Cliches: How Liberals Cheat in the War of Ideas, and Democratic pollster Bernard Whitman, who is author of 52 Reasons to Vote for President Obama. And Bernard, I suppose the Wednesday night debate performance is not necessarily on the list in your book, but it is interesting to hear the list of sort of reasons. I mean, is this smart for the campaign and others to be coming out and saying, well, he didn't have a lot of time to prepare, he was too respectful of the American people to go to certain places? Why not just move on? Just, you know what, it wasn't a great night. Everybody knows people have off nights. Move on.
That's exactly what the campaign has to do. And in fact, you notice one of the 52 reasons is not that he's a great debater. In fact, I think the reason for what happened is that Obama went against his nature. He is an aggressive, combative person. And I think the decision was made to sit in his lead and to be cautious and to let Mitt Romney be Mitt Romney and hopefully fail to win the debate. And unfortunately, that was a huge strategic blunder because the president, in attempting to sort of be cool, be presidential, to try to stay above the fray, ended up looking detached. He looked off. He looked a bit listless. And unfortunately, Romney is extraordinarily facile at fabricating facts on the fly. And the president,
a lot of alliteration
in his sort of coolness, did not take Mitt Romney to task, particularly for things like saying he doesn't have a $5 trillion tax cut, which of course he does, and for not bringing up the 47% and drawing other sharp contrasts that he has so effectively done on the campaign and effectively seeded the debate.
Jonah, let me ask you, because we've seen so many, explanations offered by the president's supporters. Some, possible, and some a little out there, like this one from Al Gore.
Obama arrived in Denver at 2 p.m. today, just a few hours before the debate started. Romney did his debate prep in Denver. Mm-hmm. When you go to 5,000 feet,
exactly,
and you only have a few hours to adjust.
That's interesting.
I don't know, maybe.
That's interesting. That is interesting, isn't it, Jonah?
Yeah, that's my favorite part, is Jennifer Granholm off camera going, oh, that's interesting.
And the other guy, exactly.
It's interesting that Al Gore is that high, but other than that, I mean, it's all so silly. I mean, look, maybe Barack Obama has switched to the wrong macrobiotic yogurt, or he's switched to decaf or something. I don't know. I don't know why he's off his feed. I think part of the problem in all of this is that there are a lot of Barack Obama's biggest fans who were stunned to find out that he's really just not that good at this stuff. He is not a great debater. He never was a great debater. I don't think he's all that great a persuasive politician in his public speaking. He's never moved public opinion on any domestic policy in his 4 years in office. In his first year in office, he gave over 50 speeches and addresses and statements on Obamacare. He never made that thing popular. He is one of the most overrated politicians in American public life. And so he went up there, and he wasn't well prepared, I'll grant that. Mitt Romney was very well prepared. I don't think he lied about anything. I mean, we can play nickel and dime games about some of this stuff, but he wasn't out there lying. He didn't rehearse lies. And Mitt Romney just came to play, came to win. He was surprisingly lifelike. And Barack Obama was a bore, and it showed, and he felt like he was too good for it.
Bernard, some of the president's team has been, I don't know if the word is mocking, criticizing Governor Romney for having prepared so much. And that is in the news, that Governor Romney prepared a lot more, apparently, than President Obama. I'm saying, separate and apart from the way they performed, the news was that he had done a lot more debate prep. But is that something that, you know, American people might admire as opposed to judge or criticize, just that he got prepared for it.
It makes no sense to attack someone for being prepared. And in fact, it's clear the president should have been a bit more prepared for the debate. But I think, again, it has to do with his orientation towards the debate. And I think that Mitt Romney, I've got to give him credit, I think he performed well, and I think it underscores the bubble in which the presidents live. And I say presidents because, you know, remember Ronald Reagan in 1984, he seemed so out of it that people were wondering whether he was too old to be president.
Yeah, a lot of them do poorly in the first round out.
Right, a lot of them do poorly, and I think it's because they're simply not ever questioned. They're never held to task like this. And in fact, you know, I was watching the debate and
your former boss.
I was thinking to myself, you know what we ought to do in America is we ought to put in place a question hour like they have in the Parliament in the UK, because that would keep the presidents very much on their toes. And inside the White House, there's this bubble where the president typically does not have to parry like that with another individual. And I think that exposed a weakness in Obama that he was not used to that. This was, I think, Romney's 20th debate in the last year and a half. And I think we're going to see a very different President Obama next time. But clearly,
I want to pick up on that.
He has to not do an Al Gore from 2000.
I want to, or from the other day, and talk about the altitude having an effect. Jonah, I want to talk to you, the last question, about that, because when we saw President Obama yesterday afternoon, just this time, back in front of the teleprompter, he sounded like his old self. You know, he had the good lines and the quick, fiery retorts, and, you know, some zingers. And of course, his supporters were saying, where was he last night? Why didn't we get that guy last night in front of Romney? But others were saying, because that guy can't exist without the teleprompter. You know, I mean, it caused some to question whether the man we see, who is always in front of a teleprompter, is it that man? Is it the man we had at the debate, or is it somebody else?
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of like everyone's the greatest singer in the shower. You know, if you're not being judged, if you're not getting any pushback from anybody, when you're only talking to people who adore you and applaud everything that you say, it's awful easy to convince yourself and the people around you that you're brilliant. And, you know, it's simply true that the media has not, Barack Obama has not gotten a lot of tough questions, a lot of pushback from anybody for a very, very long time. And this creates a real problem for him in the next debate, because now if he gets super aggressive, his one advantage so far, his major advantage so far, has been his likability. And if he loses that by being mean, that's a real problem.
Yeah, but now he'll have lower expectations, and he should benefit from that. Guys, thank you both so much.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you.